Welcome back to another behind the scenes LEGO tour. I get asked all the time, Mark, how did you raise up Hogsmeade? How did you do that? How do you have this all in different layers and levels? I really like how you did that. So I'm going to show you the magic behind that. But as you can see, we have lots of different, I like to play around with height. We have lots of different levels and things throughout the city you can actually see. But we're going to focus on this area right now because I can easily show you how exactly I did it. And it's pretty neat. So let's take a look. So this view kind of neatly encapsulates the magic behind the layers. Basically, as you know, the city itself sits up, pretty much all of the city sits up high, and it actually sits on a tabletop platform that sits on top of the main tabletop for the city. So we'll have, this is actually the tabletop right here. And then we have these platforms, which in this case, these are just additional tabletops. They're a little bit smaller. They're from IKEA with furniture table legs underneath them. These are really nice because they're adjustable. So you can fine tune the height, get everything nice and level very easily. But basically the whole city, the whole upper level of the city is built on those tabletops with the furniture leg combos. That's the magic. It's super easy to do. The only trick is figuring out the proper height that you want, which height can be tricky. If you're running trains, you want to be aware of that. So always, put some track down, run the trains through and make sure your height clearance is good. I found a minimum of 6 inches is good for trains. It gives you a nice little cushion. You can probably go a little bit lower if you want, but just be wary of like pantographs and things like that hitting. The other thing you'll note, these are actually bigger. These are actually 8 inches tall, which gives you a nice, again, nice depth and height, which you really see. It's really apparent in the main part of the city. But yeah, this is like the core of raising your city is right here. This is the magic behind that. Now you're going to look and you're going to notice this is the backside of Hogsmeade Village, which does not follow that standard. There's a few reasons for that. The main reason is because it's not necessary. It would have been overkill. I could have cut a sheet of plywood down to fit, gotten some furniture legs, but it really would have been a little much. It would have been, I don't know, it wouldn't have worked quite as neatly as this technique here, which I'm going to show you, which you're going to quickly notice. So the foundation is in fact Duplo bricks. They're very inexpensive online. You can find them in bulk at pretty cheap rates. They work with the system scale, which you can see right here. You can actually put 2x4s right on top and they fit perfectly and they click right in. So this is something that can be a really good time saver, is using these Duplo bricks to get quick height because they're fairly inexpensive. So if you can find them cheap, go for it because it works really well. Now you're going to see that I have that Duplo foundation, but then also we kind of build up from there, and then we go into these are in fact just mountain facades, which I have one right here. You can see it's very simple to build. It's a very simple. This is a burp element which you can get direct from Lego. You can find them on Bricklink. They're usually fairly inexpensive. I would say always check like secondary places first because you might find them cheaper than direct from Lego. But worst case, you can usually get these from Lego. They're usually in stock. Fairly inexpensive. I actually did the math on it one time, and one burp is in fact cheaper than trying to build the equivalent out of brick. So just, it's a little bit of a money saver if you go with this route. It's also very easy because it's like, you just stack them up and off you go. It makes it super easy to work with. And in fact, all of my mountains are based on these burp techniques, which you see all the mountains that I've done all do the same basic technique. Now I've evolved it over the years and made it a little more detailed, which I can show you. So when you start with the burps, it looks like this. It's pretty ugly. It's pretty basic. It's fine because a lot of times this is just a background thing, right? You're not actually, this isn't the focal point. You don't want people they look at it and they're like, oh, that's cool, it's, whatever. But you want to see what's in front of it. And that's especially true with Hogsmeade. The mountain just frames it. It's just a frame. So it can be as simple as you want. But as you can see, going from this to something like this is super easy. It's not very part intensive. This is just simple brick slopes, bricks occasionally, and then just some white rounds and different, different little elements just to give it a little bit of texture, make it look a little different. So it's not this, blocky, monotonous blob of dark bluish gray. And you can see the contrast here with the two. You can see how the plain burp wall versus a textured one. So again, you can do that. It works really well. It's a fantastic option that you can keep that in mind as you do it. But then also let's take a closer look at these, because these are actually a little unique the way I've done these mountain facades. And so the backside here, which isn't complete yet, but it's the same idea, it's just taller. It's again, very simple, not a lot to it. But these parts are a little bit different, because you're going to notice underneath there's no burps. What I've done is I've actually used dark bluish gray panels to kind of make a box frame or a box frame for these pieces. And you can see how it all kind of goes together. Dropped the tree, that's okay. But you can see how this all kind of goes together with the box frame, because I didn't need the slopes to start, because the bottom of Hogsmeade is so full. So I didn't really need anything on the bottom. So this kind of saves you depth. You can see how narrow it is. It's only 6 studs deep, which is fantastic for getting space in there. And again, you can see how the clutch power of these work really great. And you really get to kind of see the Duplo bricks underneath here as well. I'm going to adjust this one real quick, because this one kind of they're super sticky. They work really well. But you can see again the Duplos with just a layer of regular Lego brick, and then this piece is just going to clip on right in here and right on top. And you just kind of gently push it down. And there you have your backside, rock facade wall for Hogsmeade Village. I'll probably do the similar thing. I'll build out a box frame for the bottom of these to kind of raise them up just a little bit more, so it'll actually sit a little higher than they are now. And then it'll also give you more real estate. Instead of doing all slopes, all the way up, it's going to bump out another, 6 studs this way. So it actually gives me more room in this area to do more work. So there's those little tips and tricks that you can do. And then of course, to finish off the tops, these burps are they're flat, of course, they're just a big rectangle. You just do random little bricks on the tops here, which you can kind of see as we zoom in here. It's just very simple little slopes and things just to give it varied texture at the top, so it's not flat. You just do different, you can be as creative as you want. That's kind of the fun. You just get random and just do random different heights and slopes and things to just make it look unique and different all the way to the top on that. So there you have it. If you have questions or comments, please let me know. I'll be happy to answer whatever I can. I love helping. But hopefully you found this helpful to look at kind of how you can fit a lot of mountain in a really tiny space and really kind of make it look, look really good and convincing. And again, you look just from the side, you can see just how thin those mountains are. They're 6 studs of mountain. That's it on this side of it. And looking at it from the front, you would never know that. So I hope you found this helpful and useful. Like I say, questions, comments, let me know. I'll be happy to do what I can. And thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.